So I just wanted to say that Anonymous recently was doing a thing where they're just going all over Facebook and Google Plus and just calling out all the
and Twitter.
And
well,
Twitter.
They're, not only are they hacking like KKK Twitter accounts, but they're outing a whole bunch of. You finish. This is yours.
Yeah. So they're like just basically exposing these guys, but the funniest thing is all these guys are so obviously KKK that it hurts. Like, they're all hiding in the public eye. One of the dudes had a thing where it said, "What school did you go to?" KKK Academy, Ku Klux Klan Academy.
Yeah. They're outing like current KKK members who are on like social media and stuff because
there was like a recent resurgence.
Recently, they were when was it? They were like harassing peaceful protesters in was it Baltimore?
I think so.
It was.
I'm not exactly sure the whole story.
It was either during the Baltimore or the previous one. What was the one before that?
Ferguson?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Ferguson. Yeah. It was either in Ferguson or Baltimore. I'm pretty sure it was Ferguson. Correct me if you want. But anyway, so they're trying to find like all the people basically who are involved in that and more, and basically unmask them on the internet
for the public eye.
Yeah,
to see.
Unsurprisingly, a lot of these guys closed their accounts, but they were so obvious. Like, I'm surprised nobody saw this shit and was like, "This guy's KKK." Like, Anonymous didn't have to do this.
So basically, once again, Anonymous does something that really doesn't amount to anything but causing agitation and inconvenience to people. Because, I mean, like, you're not really doing nothing to these KKK dudes.
Well,
no, they're giving him like exposure, but my whole thing is like, how the heck did nobody notice this before?
That's because they usually use just like Facebook and Twitter, and the people, and they don't like put their actual pictures up. They'll put like a picture of like the Confederate flag or them with their hood on and stuff.
Yeah,
and they won't put their.
Or they got their KKK Twitter. And
yeah,
their real Twitter.
And,
yeah,
and then one guy that I found a Facebook of, he just goes on and posts this whole thing.
It needs to be sweeter. Whiskey sour.
I like the sour.
I do too, but it needs sweet.
So this guy was
work in progress, I suppose.
This guy was posting some things.
Welcome to Smoke Break. It's probably going to be a quick pull, but we're drinking whiskey sours right now. It's more of a whiskey. It's more whiskey sour.
I didn't have any honey. I was looking for honey, and I was gonna, whisk up the honey and the lemon. And then,
I wish you would have told me. Like, somebody just bought like a fresh bottle of honey at my house for some reason.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to say this guy is just posting about a meeting that's happening with the KKK, and I love the picture that he posts with it because he posts Snow from Final Fantasy XIII. Like he's
a member of the KKK.
I can't look at him the same anymore because it's like, why would you post this?
It's literally like something that you would see on like a flyer of like meet up, and like you expect like a janky like free drinks and snacks will be served at the bottom corner of the paper.
Yeah, but no, it's just Snow from Final Fantasy XIII. No captions or anything. It's just
holding a crystal or some shit.
Yeah, just like pointing a crystal forward and just making it looking all, I guess, white.
The KKK has materia.
No, they're all fallacy.
They're the fallacy.
And their mission what is it called? Like the thing they gotta do unless they get turned into like techno zombies or crystal.
Oh, I forget. Focus.
Their focus is to wipe out all black people.
Until they get turned into techno zombies or like crystal or something.
Yes.
Dude, Final Fantasy XIII's like lore is so screwed. Like,
and you have to find it in those stupid data logs.
The game has a Wikipedia.
Most games do.
But this game was done so wrong in its lore that they'll like, you start off in the game and then they start throwing like made up words at you that they made like for the game specifically, and you have to find out what those words mean in the data logs.
They don't like kind of explain it to you. I'm not expecting.
They don't explain it in the game. They explain it in the game via the data logs, but they don't like have like a
in-story example.
They don't have like a lore dump at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do a whole bunch of made up shit for like a this was a 3-part game. They could have did all the lore dumping in the first game.
They could have.
And then the second and third could have been like the ramp up point.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you look at something like Attack on Titan, they pretty much, like, shove all the lore stuff down your throat, like, really, really hard.
Even though there's a lot of bullshit that don't make sense, but they make up with it in atmosphere and brutality.
Yeah.
Did you? Speaking of which, MK made an I Love Attack on Titan recently.
Saw it. I posted it. I shared it. Yeah. It was great.
I saw it on my YouTube because I'm subscribed to him.
I always kind of knew he was, like, somewhat of an anime fan.
Yeah, because he linked up with some girl recently who doesn't like One Piece for some reason or another. She probably couldn't get past the slow parts.
Yeah.
Which is, like, the whole, like, first and second saga, admittedly.
Yeah. So should I jump to the thing that I wanted to talk about now, or should we wait?
Go ahead.
All right. Did you guys hear about the bullshit happening with Quentin Tarantino?
What about him?
How apparently he went to a anti-police brutality rally and basically kind of, according to the media, came out on record and said cops are murderers. Like, generalizing, like... And now all the cops are boycotting Hateful Eight, which is his upcoming movie that's coming out, because, you know, they don't agree with his opinions on murder and the cops aren't murderers.
Why is this even a news issue? Why is this even an issue at all? A Hollywood liberal said what's popular and what makes good t-shirts at the moment.
And it's not even about what's popular, because like Quentin Tarantino has always been like a person who's been like riding the dick of like black culture forever. So it's not even surprising that he would say something like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He prefaced after the meeting, he said, like, look, I don't hate cops. I'm not saying all cops are murderers. I'm saying that cops who shoot unarmed people who don't deserve it are murderers. It's a fact. And I'm not going to say he's wrong. Like, my dad's a cop. I don't hate cops. Like, me personally, I don't hate cops because my dad's a cop. A lot of my family, I have a lot of cops in my family. And I guess I grew up...
because you're in a cop family, so
yeah. And you're white cops? Too,
and you're white.
Yeah.
You know, so like
you don't quite understand.
I don't understand the struggle.
Yeah, you know, there is like it's not. We're not playing the black card when we say there is a racial component to policing. Mm-hmm. We are stereotyped and racially profiled in disproportionate numbers to whites.
1 out of 3.
Now,
1 out of 3 black people will end up in jail.
Proportionally commit more crimes? Maybe, but no, are all the
we're more like there's
risk.
Less of us in America, and we're more at risk because of the.
It's kind of like a vicious cycle.
The class, yeah, because like there's. I wouldn't say there's more of a since there's not more of us here. There can't be more of us that's poor.
Yeah,
exactly.
But, like the poor majority of us minorities will get bagged by the police.
Yeah,
for selling or buying.
Yeah, I feel like...
Or doing something.
Gear, paraphernalia, drugs.
I guess just what I'm saying is I feel like the whole, like, cops are the worst thing is becoming just, like, so overblown, and I
think it's really silly, and I don't really understand why people are even letting it got this far.
Because that's the new buzz thing in the news.
However, there is one thing that a group of cops are doing. I forget exactly what town it is, or, like, what precinct, but there's a group of cops who actually gave an open threat to Tarantino today, saying, like, between now and when the movie comes out, something's gonna happen. And it's like, okay, alright, look, I'm not on board with all cops are murderers, but don't do that. Like, you're already not painted in the best light right now.
They're not gonna kill Tarantino.
Oh, of course.
They're probably gonna show up in their cop gear in front of like theaters and like boycott the movies.
But that's the thing is like I guess my whole thing is it's kind of hypocritical.
You're saying they're throwing fuel on the fire.
They're throwing fuel on the fire. I think it's a little hypocritical too, because it's like, well, if you're like, if you like terrorize cops or whatever, you're gonna get arrested. But it's okay when cops do it. And honestly, if like Joe Schmo down the street said the same thing Tarantino said, nobody would care. But because Tarantino is a freaking like movie creator.
Anything a celebrity
Because he's
does,
famous.
He's famous.
Anything a famous person or celebrity does is under a different light than if you or I do.
Because
So you gotta take that to account.
Us random Joe Schmoes, like, people like to say everyone has a voice, but we don't. Like, us random Joe Schmoes don't really have a voice.
Yeah.
People who are in the spotlight, people who are famous, have a voice. That's why people vote for elections, because they try to put their faith in someone who has a voice, so that they can get
Very
our voice
eloquently
across.
placed, yes.
Right,
Very eloquently
right.
placed. You vote for who you believe will carry your opinions and who supports what you believe in, you know. But
Now,
go on.
yeah, I'm still gonna. Hateful Eight just looks like a good movie. I'm probably gonna see it, even if my dad doesn't really want me to. He's like, you know, I'm not gonna see it, and neither should you. I'm like, well,
Wait, hold on.
oh no, we good? Oh, we're good.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Give it a sec. Hey, we're good. All right.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, my dad does. I basically woke up to my dad telling me this. That's how I found out, and I've just been keeping up with the story. And I'm just like, this is stupid.
How old is like? But the thing is, how old is Tarantino where he can't like fucking think for himself and pick up a newspaper instead of just like?
These Hollywood liberals are like that. They go to these protests.
All right. Here's the thing. It just came to mind. Like, I forgot where I heard this, but like at a certain point where like I keep hearing where like if you get super rich, you stop growing as a person because you don't have to.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where it is. Like he's not building any new experiences. He's just making movies and being rich. So he's not growing as a person. Yeah. So he's basically at the same stage as he was when he got rich and got big. So unfortunately, same with like Soulja Boy, pretty much. He never grew up, and that's why he still thinks he's hot shit. And I guess he still has money. I don't fucking know.
I just think it's a stupid move on Tarantino's part because it's like, you should know how corrupt the media is. You should know that they're just gonna come after you. Like Fox News is gonna be all over your ass.
But that's the thing. He likes to thrive off of
drama
and the word
controversy.
He likes to thrive off of drama and controversy
and ethnic tension. And ethnic tension.
And ethnic tension, and being like the white like backer of black people, which is why he even bothered
long tracking up the bare leg and bare foot shots, like when he tracks.
Well, he has a foot fetish.
Yeah, but I mean the long up the leg. Every female lead in every one of his movies has had a long tracking up the leg shot.
Yes, but yeah, that's because he has a foot fetish.
Yeah,
except for Django, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's what I was going for.
Sure, there was a tracking up the leg shot.
That's where I was going.
There was, not on a woman though.
Oh. Yeah.
That's where I was going next. Like his love of like being like the champion of black people is why he even bothered to do Django in the first place.
Even though like no one asked him to, and he's not really that widely accepted as it.
Exactly.
Like black people don't love Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
they look at him. Hey, Pulp Fiction is good.
Yeah, like we're totally like neutral towards him. He's not even like cool white boy status. Yeah. He's just that guy. But he loves to be like the champion of black people. He's like the martyr, like throwing himself down in front of the gauntlet of blackdom. Like, please, I'll protect and help you. We're just like, eh. It's like, and honestly, we like Robert De Niro more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those fucking bootleg T-shirts, those bootleg Scarface.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Black people like Robert De Niro more.
Yeah.
Like,
an adjacent reference, just so I could get it out there. Me and you have to watch Old Boy and the remake so that we can do another podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked Django. I thought it was a good movie. There's no Tarantino movie I really don't hate. I don't hate any Tarantino movies.
The remake isn't a Tarantino movie. It's a Spike Lee movie, but it's kind of adjacent because I think Tarantino has relations with.
Yeah.
Spike Lee.
I guess like. This whole thing is being blown out of proportion, and honestly, you know what? You could be a really shitty person, but if you make good movies, gonna support you because you make good movies.
Sometimes you have to separate the person from the art.
Exactly. I mean, look at like H.P. Lovecraft.
But that's not the culture we live in anymore.
It isn't.
The person from the art. We live in this like society where everyone's like constantly like barraged with like media and like every aspect of people's personal lives is out there on display. Like,
and it's a really like super sensitive age now
yeah,
that the minorities
really
the
sensitive.
minorities have a really big internet voice nowadays, given the whole feminist and the super sensitivity movement going on.
And I mean, it's cool or whatever, but it's like it's led to so much super sensitivity, and like I feel like it's also led to the fact that there's no era mystique to artists anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, like painters or directors or actors, like before the internet.
If anything, it seems like the older artists have kept that.
Sorta, yeah, because they're not as like internety.
I still don't know shit about Prince.
Yeah, nobody knows shit about Prince.
Yeah.
So
nobody know nothing about Prince. But like, it's like when artists had that mystique back in the day, you were able to really separate them from their work and like you could like them as a person, I guess, if you saw them in like, you know, when they were like, hey, how you doing on TV, and you like their art. But like now in this media age we live in this super sensitive age, it's like the actors' personal lives, like actors, artists, musicians, whoever, their personal lives are like thrown into our faces because of this celebrity obsession culture we have now. Like before,
Chopper?
Yeah.
Like it's like they say, we don't have culture, we have pop culture.
Yeah, it's facts. It's like before, back in the day, we watched movies and it's like, okay, celebrities, great, whatever. But now we're obsessed with them. Like, if it's sick, it's like really kind of morbid and creepy if you look at like the celebrity obsession culture we have in this country.
Yeah.
Like, we follow them, we stalk them, we're literally like this close to them in a digital form all day. We're like licking around their earlobe,
basically,
smelling
like
their breath. Yeah, it's like America. Like, I would hate to be famous. I would be the worst famous person ever. I'd shoot people or shoot myself because like just the feeling of knowing that all of America really wants to know what color my shit was today.
Basically, like how Eminem reacts to being famous.
Yeah, it's disgusting, actually. Like, not Eminem's reaction, but like this whole celebrity obsession culture. Like, at the end of it, you gotta remember, yeah, they're celebrities, yeah, they're artists, they do over the top things, whatever. But on some tiny level, they're still people. Like,
and most of them who don't do over the top things, they still get hounded. And
even the ones that
like
just try to
the funny fat guy from basically the recent funny fat guy, Jonah Hill, like, got hounded by TMZ. What was it, like?
Well, it's TMZ. They have everyone.
TMZ, like,
they're the worst.
1 or 2 years ago, maybe. And he turned around and said, "Fuck you, get out of my face, faggot." And then they started like hounding him about it because he said they were faggot. But like, we all know he just said it as like a wounding word. He's not homophobic.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, but of course it's TMZ, and they have to be the like Nazi awful people.
Yeah, they try to poke people to make them act up so that they can have a story.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's good footage. That's what I'm saying. It's a disgusting culture we live in, and I think it's like I didn't want to know these people's lives.
You don't. I don't. He doesn't. But
But it cheapens the art. It cheapens everything.
There's like two types of people. There's us, like, who see a movie and then maybe once or twice we'll be like, I wonder how that person's really like in real life. I hope he's nice. And then we'll leave it. I hope he or she is nice. And then we'll leave it at that. And then there's people's like, I want to know this person. I want to know everything about them. I really need to know. I want to know what type of socks they wear in the morning. I want to know how they look without their makeup. And then and then you got TMZ who will satiate that fucking...
I don't even care, bro. I don't even care if they're nice or not in public because, like, honestly, when I look at famous people, I judge them totally on their physical attributes. When I see, like, male famous people, I just be like, what role would they play good in? Okay, I don't know. Like, I don't want to meet any famous people, really. I don't even want to screw famous women. Like, people always like, oh, what's your celebrity? Because if you could fuck any famous woman, I wouldn't want to fuck half
I'm not
of them.
on that either, but I'm still on the, if I met them in real life, I hope they're nice.
Because, like, honestly...
Because it's like, because if I meet an actor that I enjoy, I don't want to have a terrible experience.
Exactly.
That's basically,
that's
all that it goes down to. Hey, that person, I've seen them in a few movies. I hope that if I had like a 1 in 1 million chance of running into them that they're nice. That's it.
Same thing with like YouTube guys, kind of.
There's only one celebrity that I like would fixate on and like would really want to meet above all others. Like would really go Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes.
Yeah, but I guess just like this whole thing is blown out of proportion. Like I'm still gonna see Hateful
I haven't seen
Eight.
it. I still don't know what Hateful Eight is.
It's apparently a movie that takes place in Django's like universe. That scene in the movie where they go up to the cabin where Django is trained to shoot. It takes place in that cabin with like 8 dudes. One of them happens to be Samuel L. Jackson playing a different character.
Of course.
It's so weird that it's like the same universe and Sam Jackson played.
Samuel Jackson's a totally different person.
Yeah,
Between Spike Lee and Samuel L. Jackson, a lot of like he's been getting a lot of work,
which is good. You know, he's a good actor.
Referencing back to the remake of Old Boy.
Yeah.
Another thing for you wrestling fans out there, if you see freaking Samuel L. Jackson in the remake of Old Boy, does he not look like a skinny Viscera?
I have to see it.
He has like the dumb little like mohawk. He has like a mohawk in that movie.
He's like been agreeing to be in like.
He's old and he's established. It doesn't matter to him anymore.
Yeah,
he has money. He's basically doing it for fun at this point.
You know what? Because he was also in a really crappy live adaptation of Kite, which was a freaking like American movie based off of a Japanese anime.
Yeah. Like
Kingsman was terrible, and that Tweety Bird.
I heard Kingsman was really good.
I heard it was great.
It was alright, but I hated Samuel L. Jackson's role in it. It was terrible, and that Tweety Bird voice was stupid. The Tweety Bird voice killed it for me. Like his role as a villain was.
Well, now we got to watch that too and do a podcast about it.
Yeah, definitely. Also, speaking of movies being like, I guess, attacked by the media, how about Star Wars being attacked by Fox News? Because they're like, who's J.J. Abrams? What's the deal? Why is Star Wars so popular? What's going on?
I didn't hear about that. Like, are they attacking it, or are they like, this is popular, we might as well give it more coverage so they might give us money? I don't know.
It's like, it's not so much that, it's more like, it's popular, we don't get it. We don't understand.
Oh my god, continue with this so I can follow up with something else.
Like, there's not much to it. Other than that, just like, I just want to make that comment, like, they basically did a 5-minute video that could be summed up in just like, we don't understand Star Wars. Who is J.J. Abrams anyway? What is the big deal? Why is there so much hype?
That's for that. Like, that's a mixture of like old knowledge and new knowledge. That's intellectual. Like,
that's like an information piece, like for people who aren't in the know. Like,
it pissed a lot of people off, but.
I don't know why. I mean, it's for people who don't know what's going on.
Well, it was kind of more negative, like making fun of the fans.
Well, yeah,
that's intellectual insincerity.
Yeah, like, and they have to make.
I know there's another word for that, but that's basically it.
They have to make fun of the fans because still the stereotype of a Star Wars fan and like or a sci-fi fan, like that is still a popular stereotype, and it's still acceptable and ratings worthy to make fun of it, even though it's now actually the norm more than it is the abnorm to be into like abstract, or what I would say like sci-fi culture and cons and costumes and all that. That's become way more the norm than it is the not. Like, if you haven't heard of it or don't engage in some form of either watching a sci-fi show or something, like, if you're not a fan in some way, then like you're kind of now falling on the minority side of the count.
Game of Thrones and
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead still count.
Yeah, so it's like...
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, if you don't follow something...
And to a slightly lesser extent, but still up there, freaking Flash and Arrow.
Yeah, it's like, what I don't get is, like, why do people still, or why does the media still cling to the stereotype of, like, oh, nerds, they're so weird, what... We don't get
What are they thinking?
Yeah, like, why do they cling that, even though now, like, that has become more the norm than the abnorm. It's like, even as they're simultaneously saying that, half of their demographic now is like Netflixing or DVRing freaking Arrow or like Walking Dead or something.
Yeah,
like,
that leads into another thing. Grandpa doesn't understand the bleep bloop video games. Fucking the ESPN pundit who like threatened to quit if they put
we talking about this?
put MOBAs and StarCraft and like other
I gotta
shit
find his name. Give me a minute.
on,
I'm saying
on
his name
because they're starting to like push esports on like
I'm calling this motherfucker.
not even on main ESPN. I don't think it's probably like ESPN 2 or something.
Yeah.
And like they're starting to show not only esports but Guilty Gear was up there for a while. Yeah, fighting games are starting to get up there too now.
Yeah, even though most of the, I guess a lot of the community.
When did this come on TV?
Even though fighting games should have been fighting for the esports title to begin with, but for some reason they wanted to distance themselves from that for some reason.
Why?
I guess because like fighting games is kind of still the hood of like esports.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially Marvel.
Yeah,
that's the hood.
It's always been like, it was esports before esports had a name and before it had a title, because fighting game tournaments and fighting game culture was like
going to the Smoky Arcade and then like and then the tournament started and
and then when the internet came along and such things began to get tracked, and then like with the advent of like, you know, early like simulcast, like people playing on arcade machines in different, you know, countries and stuff, like, you know, early shit like that before esports was a thing. Like fighting games, I guess, still want to know we was doing this before y'all started copying us. Like we're not esports, we're competitive fighting games like we've always been.
And I think now that I think about it, it's probably from like a cautious standpoint, because they know that they're the hood of like esports, and they can't force everyone to conduct themselves properly. Yeah. So they don't want to like get on TV and then like, who's the dude who spiked his stick? Because he spiked his stick on multiple.
Sanford Kelly.
Like they can't control Sanford Kelly, who on multiple occasions after losing got really salty and spiked his stick to the ground.
There's like very low amount of professionalism in the fighting game community,
and also the really hype moments where like,
unfortunately, like,
and also the really hype moments where like there's a Marvel tournament and you got people like fucking yelling in the back, where's your salty? Oh my god, where's your curly mustache?
I mean, especially
Pringles.
I mean, look at and let's expand it to Smash. Look at the Smash community. I'm not saying, look, I don't hate the Smash community, but there are a lot, and I mean a lot of like immature people in that community.
The Smash community gets hype, and I appreciate that, but they get overly hype because the game is built to make you hype. Because it's like you get hit, you get smashed out. There's an explosion. It's like this fanfare.
Fuck him up because he did that to me.
Yeah, there's fanfare when you eliminate somebody. So when somebody gets eliminated and it's a tournament that there's money riding on, it's like, oh, he got eliminated. Oh, he lost his stock. Oh shit! Sinister.
Yeah, it's like it's a thing.
Crazy, but like. If you know Smash and you watched enough Smash, then like you're like, what is this hype about? I guess it's just the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like though,
if it's like one stock versus one stock, sure.
Out of all fighting games, Smash I feel like is easiest to like understand, because it's like, holy shit, this guy got hit the fuck out of the stage and shit's going on.
Like, I think Street Fighter might be the easiest to understand at face value. Yeah. Because Smash has a lot of, like, random nuances and crazy dumb shit, like wave dashing.
He means, like, the basic concept.
And chain slamming. Like,
no, he means like the basic concept.
So am I. That's what I'm saying.
No, from the perspective of someone watching it.
And also because Smash is like very popular in the public eye compared to like something like
it's
Street
like
Fighter.
If you took like two people like who never seen any video games before,
I would argue that Street Fighter is more popular in the public eye than Smash.
I don't know about that, because if you look at the numbers of entrants at EVO for Street Fighter, that Smash dwarfs it.
Well, there's a difference between people entering and people who want to watch.
And the amount of people watching, like EVO got so much money the second they introduced Melee. They got so many new people to watch. Like I feel like the crowd who watches Smash,
that's still a caveat because Street Fighter's been in there for years. So.
I mean, this could be argued for hours, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that
Smash is accessible.
Yes.
From everyone's perspective. Like, just watching it, even if you've never seen what's going on. Like, you can bring your girlfriend, and, like, you sit her down, and she doesn't play video games. She knows nothing about this shit. Like, she's watching Street Fighter.
Yeah.
She don't know what the fuck's going on with Dalzim and fucking Guile. Just sitting there
shooting. Alright, true, because, like, Smash has accessible, like, noticeable Nintendo characters.
She
and
sits
it's like,
down.
oh, Kirby?
She'll recognize at least one thing. Like, oh, Kirby, what's he doing up
Kirby.
there? Oh, boom, bam, Bowser! Oh shit, he's knocking people out the ring. She's gonna get it immediately.
Yeah.
You know, if not the nuances and everything, that we're not even talking about that, but the first 4 seconds of her sitting down and seeing what's going on, if she sees someone get knocked out that fucking ring, she knows that guy lost.
Yes.
That guy won.
Yeah, Kirby, fucking Bowser, Star Fox, Ice Climbers, to some of you really old folks.
If your girlfriend know who that fucking Ice Climbers are.
So, yeah, let's get back to Colin Cowherd. I think that's his name. Colin.
Yeah.
You really are a cowherd.
Your old freaking
Your
grandpa
old
doesn't
bat.
understand the bleep bloop video games.
Hey.
I'm gonna quit if you don't have to fucking report on it. Pack it up.
Yo,
I'm gonna quit if they bring video games.
Reporting on video games
ESPN.
is like putting a gun in my mouth. Quote, actual quote.
Yeah. No one's asking you to report. You don't know shit about video games. You don't know the lingo. No one's gonna ask you to.
And what's really funny is like this was about Heroes of the Storm. This was about MOBAs. I don't know if you know, but he actually he did quit ESPN. I think he's on a different show now. And he attacked fighting games. Specifically the scene where freaking what's his face? Ogawa like clutched it out. Well, like the guy got up and then Ogawa bodied him in Guilty Gear.
Oh, the fucking Guilty Gear shit where the dude preemptively thought he won and then he came back.
Yeah.
He had another match. He got beasted on.
Yeah, he's like, oh, but that's what you get for standing up. And then this fucking guy is just sitting there watching this footage, and it's like, I don't get it. Like, what was so? It's like I don't even have to play fighting games.
I saw the little like unfunny fucking skit he did where it was like, oh, here's some other footage. Oh, he gets up to go get his pizza pockets. He puts the pizza pockets in the microwave. Oh, he has pizza pockets. Oh, he's going to enjoy time in his mother's basement.
Wow.
Even though he's probably making more money than you at that tournament.
Oh, probably.
I mean, what I don't get is why is it an issue? It's like, bro, why are you hamming it? No one's asking you to get it.
Seriously, though.
You know? Like, no one's going to force you to report on sports.
That's because he's an old man who's like not up with the times, and it upsets him.
It
and
doesn't
so
matter. Just choose to ignore it.
Walk away. Like I said, he's old and he's white and he's privileged and he can't deal.
He can't deal, and that is a huge issue. And you know what? Like esports are becoming like kind of.
Another reason why I wish like. I understand now that I've thought about it and the whole fighting game hood shit, but like, I wish that fighting games would have took up the mantle as like
the primo competitive.
Yes, because at least like in Evo and in like the bigger tournaments, they don't allow any of that BS. Like.
Yeah, and like I said, it's getting exposure because there were actually 2 casters on ESPN who looked at that very same match that I just mentioned, and they didn't know what was going on, but they were getting excited. They were like, yeah, like, I don't know what's happening, but this is cool.
Yeah, they force people to be consummate professionals at the really big tournaments because, well, it's a really big tournament. They have to keep everything organized and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But now that they're going to be getting exposure, they really have to be on it. Also, like MOBAs, I don't really know anything about MOBAs, and at first glance, like for a beginner, like it's bedlam. You can't really figure out what's going on. You can only take the people that are doing the announcements word for what's going on.
I love Smite, and that's my go-to MOBA.
But at least Smite is like you're controlling one character like a fighting game character, and you're third person on the field, but even that can get hectic sometimes for someone who's just looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, when you're watching actual competitive matches, it's like they kind of do the same. overview camera angle that you're used to seeing from like League and stuff, but it's not so far panned out. It's more like kind of like an angled view. It's a little closer to the ground, so you can still see the action going on.
That was one of the selling points for Smite, that it's more akin to fighting games than it is to MOBAs.
Yeah, exactly. It's a more appealing to a general audience can look at Smite more than League and be like, if I understand the idea that's just two teams pushing lanes until one pushes further.
Not even that. It's like I have like you start from the ground level of I have a character. Mm-hmm. This character has these set of moves.
Yeah.
And then you branch out to I have a set of things that I can unlock to make my moves stronger or make certain aspects of myself faster or hit harder. And then you branch out a little bit more to I'm on a team. Mm-hmm. And if I pick this character, this is going to be my role on said team.
What game are you talking about?
Smite. And MOBAs.
And MOBAs as
a whole, yeah.
What does MOBA stand for again?
Multiplayer online battle arena.
Like Final Fantasy and shit?
No.
No, like League of Legends, Dota.
Oh.
Yeah. We were talking about like why I think Smite honestly is like
MOBAs are like tower defense RTSs.
Yeah, it's like instead of
except for you control one character instead of a whole unit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that character usually has like 4 or so skills, and you gotta get items for the character to suit the needs of the fight. But what I like about Smite is again it kind of simplifies it, where it's like it's more about your reflexes and how good you are as a player, because there are items in the game. But it's way more simple than League. League has like 200, 300 items. Smite has like maybe 80, 70. But they're all branching off of stuff, so even less than that if you really think about it.
I like the ability to, I like having that much... Dota-wise, I like having that much items to have like that much choice so that you can probably make like a unique build for a character that works for you. But the simplicity of Smite will get you into Dota and more complicated shit like that.
Yeah, or just keep playing Smite. I mean, the biggest reason why I enjoy Smite is because I don't like games where I point and click to move. I'm not a big fan of that.
Me neither. That's why I stopped playing Mabinogi like 5 minutes in.
Yeah, not like just the fact that it's a shitty game.
I don't like pointing and clicking.
I heard from a friend that Shin Megami Tensei Imagine basically got their whole setup and attack scheme from Mabinogi.
Yeah. So
I started playing Mabinogi, and then I played it for like a couple of minutes. I was like, nope.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
But yeah, like...
I don't like point and click to move unless I'm playing like XCOM or something.
Yeah.
Well, at least XCOM...
is turn-based.
Yes, it's strategy.
Strategy, turn-based.
It's a strategy RPGs where you have to place the person there and set up for the next move. It's not like click, 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 click.
Yeah.
It's not like real time where you have to push them
and multitask,
which is kind of why I want to get Wasteland 2 Director's Cut.
Micromanage, yeah, it looks cool.
It does. It's just that $54 price tag is like okay.
What is Wasteland 2?
Kind of like a predecessor to Fallout.
Yeah, it's because Wasteland 1 came out like years ago, and then 2 was like recently kickstarted a few years ago. Pat on the Two Best Friends was going about it for a little while on the podcast.
I think we talked about, like, every now and again we go on long tangents. I'm pretty sure, like, when we had one of our Fallout talks, we talked about
Wasteland.
Wasteland's good. And, like, it's less zany than Fallout. Like, Fallout was what went more in the direction of, like, that whole, like, wacky, wild shit. Like, Wasteland was, like, one of those early, like, predecessor to Fallout. Like, pre-Fallout 1.
Speaking of old RPGs, how do you feel about BattleTech?
That they should bring it back.
It is coming back. Is it Kickstarter?
The Kickstarter passed recently with flying colors, and they're making a new BattleTech video game based off of like the miniatures game.
It's actually closer to the BattleTech MechWarrior games than it is the video games that came out based on them.
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't have anything to do with really the game. It had no strategic element, but whatever.
But yeah, this one is going to be.
Yeah.
The one that got kickstarted.
Is it turn-based?
Because I believe so. Because like the tabletop game was with the minifigures was very tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's basing itself off of, that. And it's very customizable. It
The
looks cool.
in-depth customizable mechs, and
Yeah.
That's what's really important, being able to really like custom outfit your mech in like mission specific ways.
Because in the original game, you got like gray figures that you could paint, like
Yeah.
Warhammer.
yeah, and little parts you could put on and shit.
Yeah.
Which is how mechs should be. Mechs should be very specialized, mission-specific pieces of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like they need to make more mecha games, and it hurts my soul so hard that they don't. But like, and whenever they do, they're always
they
like,
make it. They don't do it right,
yeah, they always do it wrong.
or they do it very much contrast to the way they've been doing it, and then they like
yeah,
Like Armored Core.
they
Yes,
always
like
try to like
Armored Core.
jump off in some new ugly direction. And honestly, I'm tired of like Super Robo Mecha and like Rapid Anime Mecha. Like,
I'm
styles,
okay
like,
with Super Robot Mecha, but they don't make enough games for that either.
yeah. It's a sparse genre altogether, and it's not as if mecha aren't cool. Like, I don't understand, like, what's up with game design and its current, like,
We don't get the
rut?
Super Robot Wars games for like
Well, it's
obvious
like,
reasons.
What's
but
up with this first-person shooter, military, bang-bang, shoot-'em-up, like, rut that we seem to be stuck in for the next
'Cause
2 to
people-
3 decades?
Because people are used to eating garbage, and garbage becomes gourmet for people. And if you can like add,
But I just don't understand
if you
how...
can add an extra 1 or 2 things to the garbage, then people
I
are,
just don't understand how one company with the bread and, like, with the insight doesn't just, like, hey, we can
because they don't
want
want to take the risk.
You know what?
But there's so little risk.
I will say I'm happy, even though it was kind of like a very Call of Duty-ish game. I am glad that Titanfall was relatively
Pounded, I was
successful.
just thinking about that.
'Cause that's, like,
I was
the-
just gonna
one of the
mention
most
that.
successful-
That was like, it wasn't that great. Like,
It wasn't
was still a little
amazing.
Call
It
of
still
Duty-ish
needs
for
work.
me. It still needs work, but it was such a step in the right direction. It was like the first caveman lighting fire. Almost like, wait, Call of Duty game. Maybe we do different thing. Nigga, like the other caveman just like
Yeah.
looking at him just.
That's the thing. Like me and Spencer.
You crazy. We do same thing. Very good. No. Different. Everyone's pushing their square wheel. He's got like still a square
Oval
wheel,
wheel. No,
but
it's
it's
oval
oval. And he's like pushing it hard because Titanfall kind of like it had a brief like, you know,
Yeah.
like it did good and like people still play it to this day.
But
And
then,
I played it. I loved it. Like
yeah, but
as far as like a Call of Duty type game.
yeah,
will
but
ever
then
be in
Call
my
of
heart.
Duty took the
Yeah.
stuff that wasn't in the mech.
Yeah, they like gutted Titanfall. Like Call of Duty was just like,
You know-
oh wow,
you-
Titanfall came up with a lot of cool stuff.
I'm not gonna say that they stole it because they came out at relatively the same time, and you can't implement those types of things in that quickly.
Not to mention those sort of things that they stole are the new standard now because it's what we're working towards like in real life.
Yeah.
Like the whole like all they stole was super suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Me and Spencer were actually talking about the other day, and he was talking about like
Sassy Sasquatch.
Sasquatch, hello. We were talking about like Call of Duty and how he said he might end up getting Black Ops 3, and I'm like, well, why is that? I mean, I was just
I like the
curious.
single player.
Because the super jumps.
Well, he said it because
The
Treyarch.
arcadiness.
It's very, very arcadey, and I looked at more stuff about it. I'm like, you know, I respect that they're, you know, that they are actually trying. Like Treyarch knows, they know that Call of Duty will never match up to like Arma or like any of those realistic like war sims. So they just made this
trying to be
game.
that. It stopped trying to be that.
Yeah, but like they know more than
Well,
I think.
kinda.
Like, yeah, they know more than like Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer. So then Treyarch with this game is just like, we're just gonna make this game bullshit. There's a grenade that shoots bees. like, and I'm like, you know, this game.
I like how they did away with the whole like opposing force system in Black Ops 3 now. It's like you play as like these operators.
Yeah.
They're like specific people.
Mhm.
And it's like one squad versus the other. Like it's not just nameless grunts now. Each instead of classes, they're actual characters.
Oh, so they're getting back to fucking Time Splitters.
Basically.
Yeah.
But there's a lot less characters.
It looks like, I will say, this does look like the best Call of Duty game in years. And that zombies mode, what the fuck was I looking at?
It looks amazing. Like, now, I'm not a Call of Duty fan. I did buy Advanced Warfare.
The last game I bought was Black Ops.
I bought Advanced Warfare when the price went down, and I was like, fuck it, I like playing zombies, and I like the single-player campaigns in Call of Duties. I'll always play Call of Duty single-player. I do not touch multiplayer. I have Advanced Warfare on my PS4. To this day, I've maybe played 2 rounds of multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I play zombies all the time. Like, that's all I like Call of Duty for. Why they don't release zombies map packs, like, in a bundle, I wish. I would buy it. I would buy it today, but they don't. They make me buy the, you know, the multiplayer maps that I don't want. But anyway, my point is like, just off of the zombies and the single player, Call of Duty is almost enough to make a buy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Excluding the entire multiplayer component. And now the zombies, it looks like they've super pushed the envelope with Black Ops, and it looks all like noir 1920s Hollywood.
Yeah.
But
you
in
play
hell, only
Yeah.
though, because you're stuck in like 1920s Hollywood only, but in hell with like Cthulhu demons, and you're a Cthulhu demon too, apparently. Because like I was watching this trailer where like,
well, don't you play like as different actors again?
okay,
Yeah.
you're these 4 people who apparently are like dead or something, or
Like
they're
dead
trapped in this
actors.
place
Yeah.
that's bad, and like they're like apparent, maybe they're demons. I don't know, because like I was watching this trailer where like they're shooting up zombies and everything. It's like a recent trailer. And they're showing off some of the new weapons, and then they're showing off some of like supernatural looking weapons and shit. And then the guy is like, you know, earlier I said we're here because we're not good people. He's like, I think that means a lot more than I thought it did. He said something like that, and then like one of them like just with fucking like icky hands a bunch of zombies. So like maybe you're not human. Then some guy turns
Just
into a
Canadian,
fucking like the fucking thing from Hellboy, and then like teleports and like pounces on a zombie. So like each one has some freaky like hell monster mode or something that I don't know what the deal with that is. But to suffice it to say, it's some other shit entirely.
My point is they're pushing the envelope with this game, like not quite breaking out of the Call of Duty mold
of course
at
not.
all. It's
At
still
all.
Call of Duty, but I feel like I appreciate that they're treating it as every Call of Duty game should be treated, as an arcadey like good time, an arcadey shooter, which is what they are.
I mean, that being said, though, I still feel that this whole like first-person shooter, like
I 100%
just,
agree. Yeah,
like obsession and like we don't even put. It's like they don't make any type of game anymore.
The new that's because like the first person shooter, the yearly first person shooter is basically like the new Madden.
They don't make RPGs anymore, really. They just make all the. You know what they make now?
Japan still makes RPGs.
They make Assassin's Creed and first-person shooters.
America doesn't make RPGs anymore,
You know what I really want to see?
except for Shadowrun,
Because-
which
and Fallout, like Bethesda occasionally.
yeah.
Me and Jess were talking about this.
If you get the Shadowrun and like the new Shadowrun that they also kickstarted, we will probably do a let's play of that, or I will just sit and watch you play.
I've been hearing that the new Shadowrun, is
Good.
because I've been hearing so much.
Yeah,
good
I've been
things
hearing a
about
lot
it.
of good things. But me and Jess were talking about this. Like, why don't they have like a couch co-op RPG? Like, not quite maybe as big as Skyrim or as expansive, but like, why is there not an RPG where I'm questing around and like I can have, you know, and I mean like with consistent characters, like.
Oh, you mean a sandbox RPG?
Yeah,
I was about to say,
a
'cause like I
sandbox
said,
RPG.
America doesn't make it.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure,
but
Japan has
with
the-
couch co-op, though,
Japan
me and
has the
Jess were
Tale
talking
series.
about like me and Jess were talking about how like there's just a lack of couch co-op.
So like Diablo, because Diablo 3 has couch
kind of
Yeah.
like Diablo, but like
And
a
like I
little
said,
bit
Japan
less,
has
like,
the Tale
you know.
series, but it's a very linear RPG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like a sandbox RPG with like consistent like characters, so that like, you know, say someone comes over, they can just jump in.
Yeah.
and you know,
Play
like
the character.
Yeah,
Like
play
the
their
character
character.
archetype that they can
Yeah,
just-
no, bring their actual character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, and also like, they
All
develop,
RPGs have character archetypes.
Yeah,
Or quests together.
developers don't seem to realize that we want RPGs. Look at Undertale. Look at how good that game is
Developers
doing.
don't seem to
Undertale was very niche though.
It's niche, but it's grown. Like it's everywhere.
That's
now.
because it's different and like
It's
it's one of those different things that didn't fall flat on its fucking face.
Because
they went balls to the wall with that game because, like we were talking about this earlier, they went low end on the graphics so that they can do way more with it.
Because
yeah,
a
and
lot
also
of
because it
developers
harkens back to Earthbound.
don't think that new ideas will work. They don't think they're scared to try. And like you got to remember too, smaller game developers, like game development now is a big, high cost thing to do now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it isn't like it was before where smaller companies had a shot at getting into this. Like if you want to get out on a current gen console, you need buku bucks. That's why there's so many indie games and downloadable games. You don't see AAA titles as much anymore, or even like AA titles. Like we really don't even get like a game a month anymore.
Everybody is starting.
If
It
that.
feels like this is like the season of everyone trying to go back to the basics,
Yeah, I mean, look at like
It's
or
not
everyone
that.
who matters really, because you got Undertale like dragging it back to the basics with the RPGs. You got
Shovel Knight.
You got Shovel Knight. Like, well, that's more like. That's not even really back to the basics. That's harkening back to old school. There's a difference.
The only reason
And you got Rising Thunder trying to get back to the basics of fighting games, trying to take out the movements so that they can like start everyone at a ground level, but not super ground level like dive kick. And Street Fighter trying to boil it down a bit so that they can get new customers.
I think it's because it's not so much the getting back to basics, it's that a lot of just about everyone's been priced out of big budget mainstream gaming. Think about it. What do you think it costs to make a PS4 game?
Also, I just looked up that the new King of Fighters is going to be on PS4.
Huh, nice. But it's not easy to get on.
Nice.
It's not easy to get
We'll
on
see.
to main
Yeah.
systems. So
Because,
it's
like, did you see the Nothing trailer and the
Recent trailer for
recent
14.
More Than Nothing trailer
no.
of King of Fighters 14?
We're going to have to show you that after this.
Yeah. Like, the Nothing trailer was, I wish you would have just showed us the title and then not the fucking Bishi Kyo and, whatever, Yori. And then the More Than Nothing trailer is some pretty, like, still
Early-ish gameplay.
janky 3D models, like, going from move to move in a very no frames in between manner, which leads me to believe that those attacks were, like, canceled into each other, but they were, like, the whole combo can't be canceled. It's super weird, like, because it was like, Kyo did, like, a kick, and then no frames into, like, a low kick, and then, like, did the fire thing.
Yeah. Like, all the moves looked recognizable, and the animation seemed right. Just
There were no in-between frames, and it was like, he was doing a jump kick, and then he was just on the ground doing a low kick.
It
I was
looks
like,
fast.
a lot of that
just
in-between
weird.
stuff-
it looks fast, but it looks terrible.
Graphically, of course, it looks awful.
Well, in between frames, yes, but graphically, it kind of looks like they polished it a little bit in between the first Nothing trailer.
And
then they showed Kyo's Bishi face, and then they showed Iori's also new Bishi face. And, like, I don't know how to feel about it. Hopefully it still plays well. That's all I can say.
Yeah, hopefully.
Chang looks good.
Yeah, Chang's wearing an orange jail jumper.
Yeah.
Like, the orange jail outfit.
The guy with the giant fucking ball and chain.
Yeah. Leona still looks like Leona.
Yeah.
No, really. It's Leona. But, yeah.
But yeah, like, I'm guessing they're trying to save time and money because drawing those sprites over the 3D models must have taken, not even must have, it did take a long time for them to release 12 and 13.
Yeah. No doubt. And
And I wish they would have kept going. I could have waited for a new King of Fighters game, but like,
I guess
they need to make
needed
money.
yeah. Because pachinko machines weren't doing it.
Yeah,
And they recently dropped out of it.
Yeah, they basically sold a bunch of like pachinko parlors and machines and shit recently. So
Ooh.
SNK. The consummate shambling zombies that keep themselves alive via sheer will alone.
Yeah.
The business run by the drinking bird with the Terry hat on it, and the one hobo who knows how to work a computer.
And the
SNK,
fucking
like,
chewed up pencil
still-
at the
how
computer.
SNK still like.
I don't know. They die and then they get bought by a new company, but they still manage to keep their old properties and stay SNK. And then
they're like Gil when Gil becomes old eventually. Like every 10 minutes he keeps croaking, but then resurrection.
He has enough special bar from drinking prune juice to resurrection. The dignity in my diaper shall scar thy DNA.
SNK takes a lick and keeps on taking.
Yep.
I'm glad that Urian's coming back in Street Fighter V.
Yeah. I wonder how they're gonna dress him.
I hope he's... What I want him to start the fight off with him in his formal suit, but then when he activates his V-trigger, it's Aegis Reflector, and when he's doing it, he sheds the clothes.
Yes.
Just... like, rip right off.
Yeah.
And then he looks like Third Strike.
Yeah, he goes back to, like, platinum hair, brown skin.
Yeah.
Wait, we weren't trying to cover Parasite in this podcast, were we?
No, this is a
smoke break.
This is just
we're doing that when we're with Lee, right?
No, we're gonna do that now, actually.
Parasite!
Whoa, no.
What?
Come on, man. I'm kind of running out of steam, and I kind of want to play Def Jam. Like, we've already been recording for almost an hour.
We really have, huh?
Yeah.
So this is a full smoke break.
Yeah,
basically.
and then we're gonna do fucking Parasite, and then when Lee gets here, we're gonna do something else.
It's only 9. He's gonna get here at like 12ish.
So that's what I'm saying. So what are we gonna do? Record for another hour, and then when Lee gets here at like 12, record again. I don't like doing that much recording.
We'll see when Lee gets here, I guess.
Like, I don't
see how we
really
feel.
like. Yeah, I'll tell you how I feel. I don't feel like doing that much recording. Like, I just told you that.
All right,
That's fair
like I
enough.
said, we'll feel it out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, like my vote's already been cast.
All right.
Alright.
Well, no, I didn't know we were gonna record for this long before Lee got here.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
But we went on this giant tangent about...
Yeah, now you're saying we're going to talk about Parasite. That's like another hour, and then when Lee gets here, that's another who knows how many hours, bro. That's like 4 or 5 hours of recording, bro. I get 2 days off a week. I got to stretch that between a lot of people and things. I can't do anything for 4
And we
or 5
don't get to hang out with Lee all that often anyway, so...
Yeah, so I want to just hang out. I don't want to have to worry about having to record.
You don't have to worry about anything. All you have to do is talk.
Yeah, but then we're going to have to pick topics and be close to mics.
What?
You know,
we have to
like,
do what? Morgan, we have to do what? We have to pick what? Talking to Lee, we have to do what?
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to do that much. Well, then can we take a break? We'll just cover the Parasite thing when Lee gets here.
Well, he didn't watch it.
Well, then what are we covering when Lee gets here?
Whatever.
All right.
I don't like. I'm not even expecting like anything when Lee gets here. Really, I'm just playing it by ear. All right. So signing off for this episode.
You're an episode.
Indeed. Put him out and go inside.
I don't even have anything to smoke. Like.
All right. See you later, everybody.
Remember.
All right.